Good evening. Lonely Pine Bee Farm here. This is just the video that I told you I was going to make on building the cover for the hive stands to protect the grease from getting grass clippings and the other thing on it. What I'm going to do is pause the video while I make the cuts. I don't have all the editing software to mute everything out, but I will show how I assemble it, drill the holes, pilots, and all that good stuff. So anyway, what we're going to do first is I'm going to cut my two 9-inch 1x6s, and then I'm going to cut the two 7.5 1x6s, and I need two 3.5-inch long 1x2s and two 7.5 1x2s. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all that, have it here, and then we'll assemble it and resume with the recording. So be right back. Okay, I've got all my stuff cut. Two 9-inch, two 7.5s, 7.5 1x2, 3.5 1x2. Alright, what I do is, like I said, I drill pilot holes in all mine. It just makes it easier to get the screw started. Basically what you're going to do is on the 7.5s, they're going to go with the 9-inch, and the 3.5s go with the 7.5s. But basically what you want to do is center the 1x2 7.5 on the 1x6 9-inch. So the easiest way to do it is just flush it with the top like this. Take you one of your blocks, put it on the end, flush it, butt it, and then you just make your mark. That way you know where that particular one goes when you get ready to screw it together. Do the same thing on this side. Flush everything up. Make your mark. And you're good to go. So when you get ready, all you'll do is just flush at the top, put it right on that line, put your screws together. You'll do the same thing on the 7.5s. They're going to go center. Even though on this one, you're actually going to go the width of the 2 inches. So what you'll do is you'll take your 2-inch block on this one, flush it, butt it, and then just make your mark. That way you know where it's going. Same thing on this one. Flush the 1x2, butt it, make your mark. Simple as that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill my pilot hose. I got my bit. Now remember, on the 7.5s, it's going to go in the center, so you don't want to drill a hole over here on this side. You want to just put 2 holes right there. So being that I'm doing both of them at the same time, I'm just going to flush everything up and drill 2 holes at the same time, just like that. So it actually drills both pilot holes at the same time. On the 9-inch, you're going to do the same thing. You can actually spread them apart a little bit, because remember, it's going to go all the way to the edge. So you can put one here and one here, and that'll be fine. Just like that. It actually drills on both sides. Like I said, there's no weight going to be on it, so you don't have to worry about how good the screws are in there. As long as they're in there, it's going to hold it together. Alright, so with everything like it is, pilot hose drilled, what I'm going to do is grab some 2-inch screws and just go ahead and start them. Start them with your hands. Simple. Go ahead and get everything ready. Actually, we need to put them on this side. As you can see, I actually cut my cut list. But it's all good because I don't need it no more. Alright, and then just take your 3.5, flush it with the top, right on your line, because you know it'll be right, and then put your screws. Well, let me put the bit in first. I should have grabbed another drill, but I like doing things the hard way. and then just screw it together. Just like that. And then we'll do the other one. Same way. Like I said, most of this stuff that you're going to use, especially if you build your own equipment like I do, I buy a few things from Man Lake, like queen excluders, things like that. You know, suits. I can't make that type of stuff. But as far as my boxes, I buy my frames, as you can see over there. I bought them from Man Lake. They're actually cheaper for me just to buy them. As far as the time it take me to make all my cuts, it's just cheaper for me to buy them. And then like my feeders and stuff, I order them for Barnyard Bees. But just screw everything together, get it good and snug. Okay, just like that right there. That's simple. Alright, and then on the, you're going to do the 9" the same way. Like I said, it's pretty simple. It's probably going to take me a little bit longer just because I'm doing the video. But it don't take long to make these things. Especially once you get everything cut. If you know how many you're going to make, if you cut them to the measurements like I said, everything's going to fit fine. Alright, so you'll have them together like this. Butt it. Get it on your line. Flush it up. Flip it over and screw it together. Flush it up, bring it to your line, screw it together. That's something. Alright, one side you're going to leave off. You're going to use your two 9" pieces and one of the 7.5s because you want them to go together like this. So I'm going to switch back over, drill my pilot holes. And the only reason I'm doing it the way I'm doing it now, just video purposes. Normally I would have went ahead and just drilled all my pilot holes and been done with it. But just come in here and drill you a couple of holes. One would probably be enough. I just put 2 in it. You don't really have to use 2. Just right in through there, be fine. Do them on both. Alright. And then what you do is you just screw everything together. And like I said, it ain't got to be perfect. You just want it to work. That's simple. Okay? So just lay it, but everything flush. I mean, and if it's a little off, it ain't going to hurt nothing. Like I said, this is all it's doing is just protecting the grease from getting any debris on it. Switch back over to my bit. I mean, this ain't a water barrier or nothing. As you can see, I got a little off with my length, but I mean, it's just screw everything together. Okay, your other 7.5. Your other 9.5, I'm sorry. Lay it on top, flush everything up. 2 screws. Like I said, 1 screw would probably be fine. I'm just doing 2. Like I said, there's no pressure, no weight, none of that that's going on, so. Okay, that's it. So you can see this is the one I built in the previous video. Okay, here's my artificial hive stand. As you can see, apply your grease, slide it on. You want to countersink your other hose. And then once you put everything together, just like in the other. So, like I said, it's pretty quick. Once you get everything cut, like I say, just drill you a couple pilot holes. One if you want, be fine. If you want to save on screws, it's not going to hurt nothing. Okay. slide it on. It's probably best to go ahead and get your screws started, at least one on each side, just to help hold it in place. Anyway, but what you want to make sure you do though is when you apply your grease, if you do my method, you don't have to, I'm not telling you this is the best way to do it. This is just the way I do it. You apply your grease. You don't want to come in from the bottom and slide up because technically you'll be pushing all your grease up. Put your grease about an inch or so below, because this is technically 3/4 of an inch. So as long as you come down at least 1 inch, you're not going to touch your grease. Butt it up flush with the top of the stand, slide it in, and then, well actually, my bad, I'm not a professional, I can do it, but anyway, you want to actually come in from the side, I'm sorry. So, I'm not going to edit, I don't do editing. If I mess up, I mess up. You really can't mess up too bad. I mean, a hole ain't going to hurt nothing. I'm not God, I'm not perfect. So, anyway. Like I said, I still got my brackets from the last video I done on this right here. So basically all I got to do is apply my screws to it when I get in. You can do that if you want. If you want to, grab your neat pen and just make your mark where it's going on each side. And then take your screw and kind of get it started a little bit. That way whenever you get ready to put it together, you don't have to put so much pressure down on it. You ain't got to screw it all the way in, you just got to start it. Like I said, you just want to start it, that's all you're trying to do. Alright. And then like I said, whenever you get to your stands, you just slide it on. You can actually start this with your hand now. Okay. Put your other screw on. You already got your hose started, so it's not that hard to do. Okay. Got your other side, you want to slide it on. Okay, that's it. It's on there. Can't knock it off. Protect it. So anyway, I did want to make the video of me actually making it, showing you how long it took. And it probably took me, once I paused the video and cut the wood, I already had the wood ready. I knew what my measurement was. Technically, it probably took me about 3 minutes to cut 2 9-inch pieces, 2 7.5-inch pieces made out of 1x6, 2 7.5 pieces made out of a 1x2, and 2 3.5 pieces made out of a 1x2. I made everything out of a 1x6. I just ripped them down. I just took one solid 1x6, made all my cuts, ripped them like I needed. So basically what you can do is cut you 3 1x6s, 7.5 inches long. Take one of them and rip it down to 2-inch strips. You'll have a little small piece left over. That's no big deal. And then you can take, if you got some scrap laying around, or if you want to go ahead and cut a 4th one at 7.5 inches, then that way you'll have an extra, because what you're going to have to do, alright, for instance, alright, you got 2 7.5s on each side, okay? You're going to need a 7.5, 7.5 here. That's going to be one board, you're going to have a small one left over. So if you go ahead and cut you 4 7.5-inch 1x6s, take one of them, rip it down, 2 inches, 2 inches, you'll have the little small strip left over. Take the other one and just rip 2 inches off, have one 2-inch piece. So you're technically going to have 3 7.5, 2 inches wide. Then you can take the third one and cut it 3.5. 3.5 and 3.5 is 7 inches. You'll have a half inch left over. That's simple. Like I said, once you get your material, you do it the first time, you see how it goes together no problem. But here's how it's built. Just letting you know, just showing you the video. I told you I would, but I will definitely put all the measurements in the description, so that way you'll have them for later. And if you need to see how they go together, you can just always watch the video again. Appreciate you watching. God bless. We're out.